Thank you, Mr. Degafe. Would you tell me about the last time you saw His Majesty, please?
The last time I saw His Majesty is when he was held by the Derg, and we were with a group of military officers of Ethiopia who wanted to interview him, and there were civilian Ras Imru, his cousin,
Yes.
and a civilian investigator, and the military people. And the discussion was, where is the money that His Majesty owns abroad? And His Majesty did not reply at that point. And his cousin also asked. He said, they have all the arms, they have everything under their control. They want you to give them the money. That's when the emperor said, money. You said billions. Where would that come from? And why, if we had it, would keep it abroad? And as for the money that's held by my grandchildren, haven't they rights? Aren't they Ethiopian? That's when the main comments on the money stopped.
As the head of the Ethiopian Bank, Mr. Degafe, you were aware of whether His Majesty in fact had lots of money or not.
Yeah.
What is your view on that?
His Majesty didn't even have a bank account in Ethiopia. He kept all cash because whatever money he had, he used to donate wherever he went on his travels. And to expect him to have a lot of money abroad when he has none at home, to me it's impossible. And when I told them this, they wouldn't believe me.
Do you remember His Majesty's response when he heard of the famine?
Yes, well, he said he gave on his own what he had, and everywhere we mobilized efforts to help the famine victims. And even now, everyone is contributing to the family.
Mr. Degafe, what would you like people to know about His Majesty, as the world to know, as a person who knew him personally?
Well, he was very patriotic. He loved his people. He loved the country. And to expect him to have had such a large sum abroad, it's unrealistic. After all, Ethiopia was a poor country. where would he get all this money? And in fact, after he died, there was never any mention of it anymore. So it was all aimed to upset him while he was in detention.
Mr. Degafe, I don't want to tire you, but I remember you telling me a story once about when His Majesty called you when you were the head of the bank about a woman whose house was going into foreclosure.
Yeah.
Would you mind retelling that story, if you can, please?
That was many times. Whenever we had auction of properties, I used to keep a list because I knew some of them might appeal to him. Then he would suddenly call me, and I would have my notes with me, and I would explain how that loan arose, what we tried to help the borrower to pay, settle his loan, and our endeavor to auction it was stopped because they appealed to Your Majesty.
The debtors appealed to His Majesty for help.
Yeah.
Yes, please continue.
And so he recognized the father who was died in the war, or any of the relatives which the appellant had in mind. And sometimes he would turn to all the people who were claiming money, how I explained that it was due to His Majesty's wishes that the bank functioned properly to help the people. So he has done his best. What do you want him to do? He used to say, and order his private treasurer to go and pay the debt.
So His Majesty would order his own private treasurer to pay the debts of the people who couldn't pay their debt.
Right.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Degafe. Thank you. I remember you telling me a story of when you yourself had some problems with your eyes and had to have surgery abroad.
Yes, I was flown urgently to Germany and had the operation of detached retina. It was quite a costly operation because I had to stay in the clinic for a whole month. And I was, when I returned home, fully treated with new glasses and so on, I worried how am I going to meet this debt, because I had a mortgage, we had young children, and I had just started the career of banking. And suddenly the governor of the bank told me His Majesty has ordered the bank to pay the expenses for the treatment abroad, which was most unusual. And I was very grateful.
Was that a typical gesture from His Majesty?